Then the sixth highlight, the last part here of the presentation, which is from my side also the most interesting and fascinating part here, is about toolbox. So we call it toolbox. This is an access to the device, to the tracer via command line interface. This way, you can not only use this in the field, but you reuse the tracer in your lab environment. And this helps you to automate your traces. So if we made it available via command line interface, because that way you can use it into any operating system, in any environment, and also in any toolchain, because this is very easy to integrate this to your existing toolchain or to build a toolchain around if you don't have. And that way you can use it, for instance, with command prompt for Windows or PowerShell, or you can use it with terminal and Mac environments, or even Bash. Okay, and what you usually do in using the command line interface, there's two big parts. The one part is control, and the second part is convert, where control starts, stops, and downloads your traces. So you really operate the tracer to make traces in an automated way. For instance, if you have regression testing and you want to trace continuously and repeatedly in your application or with various setups, that's very comfortable to use it that way. And then the convert part is to make this available to further analyze a PDF report, for instance, in human readable format, share this easily and document this. And on the other hand, to use XML files for further automated analysis. And we are going to show a small video in the next slide here to make this a bit more visible to you. I mean, the command line interface is not very fantastic graphical user interface, but I have prepared some screen recording.
But it's really powerful, and that's important, I think. Even you can remote control over networks. You can speak with a trace case across the world from other sites. Yeah. It's also possible. So with the first implementation, one tip that I would give to you if you start using the evaluation version, then you can use your second USB Wi-Fi adapter, for example. That's always a good thing, that you can connect, you keep connected to your company network, and we recommend a USB to Wi-Fi stick for this, and span your own network, connect to the trace case. That is what you see here with the TC control command line tool. And yeah, Svante, you already start the video. We have prepared. Yeah, you see here how to start and stop. You have to specify the TCP/IP address, and yeah, that's it basically. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. I think I'll interrupt shortly here and take a highlight here. What you can see here now is the start and the stop command, and I have used explicit paths to make this the most generic way, because some tools there differ in the path conventions. And here I had prepared is a little bit because I think you don't want to see me typing here, but yeah. And then the third part here is after start and stop. When you did your tracing, you have to download the trace from the device, and that's what you can see here. This is the download command, and then you also have to define a file where it should be pumped out into. Yeah. So that way you operate the start-stop download part, and then we move on to the next part. Yeah, here you can see on the right-hand side that a file pops up. Then in the second part, we have the conversion functionality. That means we convert the trace, the TRS file, first to a PDF file, and then after that, also to an XML file. Yeah. And
you have to specify if you want to which layer you want to convert. That means we offer the frame layer and the APDU layer. Today we have digital data, but maybe future versions will also support the analog data. So we'll really offer all the data that our trace case produces to the customer. We are ready with the XML format to be integrated into third parties. We have a few talks with parties in the market, how we can import the data into their tool chains. Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, with the XML, you get the timing information, the processing time. That's really the important thing. That's the reason why you need a tracer. Yeah. The data maybe you get through some other channels, but the exact timing, that's unique, that you need. Therefore, you need a tracer like TraceCase.
Yes, sometimes that's an important asset. I have here an example of a PDF file. So this makes it in human readable format, and you get, if you click in your PDF, you get more details about the parsing and the content here. I'd like to highlight here that you get some delay times. These times are the timing between end of a command of a reader and start of the response of a card. So this is very important for EMVCo level 1 compliance, for instance, but sometimes you need more details. For instance, you need the complete timing of a transaction. And now I have here an example of an XML file. Don't go into details, it's just the impression. I just like to highlight two things. You get a very detailed set of information which enables you to analyze and automate analysis of your traces in the way you like to. So you get all the details we can get out of there. We enter into the XML file, we pump this out there, and then you also get a quality control here. So you can see here there's an incomplete frame highlighted, that an incomplete APDU highlighted. So you get some evaluation automatically already. This helps to speed up analysis. Well, it's not just that we are not able to make good XML files. We also bad XML files. We also have complete XML files just to make this complete. So yeah, you don't want to look at this because that's very confusing maybe and a lot of details. What can you do with an XML file? You can put this into a Python script, for instance, or into any tool you prefer to use for further and automated analysis. So what I'd like to take here is an example of a Python script which calculates the so-called tariff times. Tariff times is the transmission time of a payment transaction according to book A from EMVCo. So this is a very more common example where you need exact timings and why you have to pay attention on. Whereas the card has a budget of 400 milliseconds, the terminal has a budget of 100 milliseconds. So it's very important to check that your payment terminal is compliant and is performant enough to comply here. So this is not about the details we have shown here. It's about how you can use and how you can automate your analysis using and adding this command line interface to the mini tracer you have already. So what we have here the signal timings, and then sum this up. Yeah. It's for the reader it's 1 in 3, and for the card it's 2 in 3, and reader is 1 in 4. Okay. Here. Yeah. So that's the example we have here.
Yeah, let me emphasize. So the XML is the data of the transaction pre-processed with the timings. I think that's very powerful. Yeah, and gives a lot of possibilities with the integration in third-party tools, and that's what we offer to your customers.
Yeah, we are at the end of the presentation with the 6 highlights. Thank you for your attention. And now I'd like to take a look on the questions. We have the Q&A session here now. So we have some questions here. Andreas, the first question I'd like to ask to you is, in the app, do you also see the analog envelope?
Not yet. So for the smartphone, we saw it's a little bit difficult, even if smartphones get more powerful and the display is more powerful. So it depends also a little bit on the pull of the customers. So we would like to do a version for the iPad in future, but so I'm interested to speak with you, with the customers, to get more inputs, what you would need. And yeah, let's see what we can do in the future.
Okay, this is a good keyword because here, I've just forgotten. We at the end, after the webinar, we have a very small survey, 2 questions. And if you answer it, you get the Python script I have just shown. So yeah, please answer the questions. The goodie is the Python script. Yeah, and it would help us a lot if you answer it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we would like you to participate actively. So what else do we have here as question? The other question is about the apps we offer. Is this both Android and Mac and iPhone?
Yes, it's everything, yeah. So potentially we could also work on Linux. So we have the technology in place. That is a little bit our construction side at the moment with the app. We have really the basis to be to have the same code basis over every operating system, from Windows to Mac to Linux or whatever you would like to have, and also across Android and iOS, and I don't know, whatever comes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we are ready for this now, and yeah.
Okay. Yeah. On the future development, so or on the availability. So we have presented a command line interface. Is this already available?
Yeah, it's available for evaluation. So
Okay.
you can talk with us if you are interested. It comes as a separate product. Please understand that we cannot do this for free, like the app features. But yeah, so talk with us if you are interested, and we will add additional functionality step by step. It will be equipped with. This will be equipped with a maintenance contact, I have to say, and we can add further functionalities to the toolbox and on customer demand.
Okay, good. So more important to answer the survey at the end of the presentation. And yeah, then maybe concerning the 2 variants we had about having a mini tracer like this, or having something like this built into a smartphone cover. There was something about the antenna distance. Would you repeat this a bit, please?
Yeah, I can do. So for to get reliable traces at the end, you need to a fixed position of the tracing antenna. You need to fix this, and this is can be more easily done with the trace case fit. It's always difficult to hold the antenna with the trace case generic, and yeah, therefore we recommend the trace case fit. You can also customize the trace case fit. We offer the products from Apple and from of course from the Android universum, from Samsung and others. Yeah, yeah, it's how you like to use it.
That's your preferences. If you have a more generic, or work rather with a smartphone directly here. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay. Then here, I think we are quite at the end of the webinar now. I'd like to thank everyone for participating and for participating actively, taking part in the poll. And I'd like you to take part in the survey as well. But before we call this a day and to end the webinar, I'd like you to take away 3 points I'd like to highlight again to take away with you, as how to make you love or make NFC tracing more lovable. Is get a mini tracer, which is small and discreet, and best case mobile. So if you have a battery driven device, it's really mobile, and really you can use it very long in the field if you can exchange the battery. And then it's very discreet, put this in a pocket or cover it in a smartphone. And then secondly, which is simple to use for both analog and digital. So if you have a tracer which has a configuration and parameter setting covering a big range of communication properties, this is very helpful. You don't need to be the expert to take traces. You don't need to go into parameter settings endlessly trying this works or this doesn't work, because if you have a tracer which has been pre-configured by experience, a broad range of participants and technologies, or typical properties of NFC communication in the market, then you can use it right away, and also use it with analog. That means take more information. If you're already there, take the envelope, the physical layer information as well, to really find root causes of errors, or really sort out or rule out if there's anything on the physical layer, which for contactless communication still can happen. So we have a lot of standards in the world and a lot of products, a lot of smartphones. First of all, they're really compliant, but sometimes here and there you have interesting behaviors, and that helps you to rule out any flaws.
Last but not least, I would like to mention that we have updated our website also with the latest data sheets. We have updated, we have put all the manuals online, and very important, in the next days we will release our next version of the app and also of the trace case viewer with the NFC support. That's a major feature. Also some other features will come, so stay tuned. And yeah, I'm happy to be that I was here in this very nice webinar.
Thank you very much, Andreas.
Franzia.
Thank you very much. Well, I'd like to finish with a third point and take a tracer that comes with a toolbox with a command line interface to take your analysis further and automate your analysis. And here, reuse the tracer in your lab facilities, in your R&D lab as well. Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Any of the other questions we're going to answer directly in one-to-one communication. Here, Andreas, I thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, maybe my last word, if you have future requests, please let us know in the survey, after the survey, that we can prioritize our work and see how it goes in the future with trace case.
That's very true. Okay, then thank you very much. This was the webinar 6 highlights that make you laugh, NFC tracing. I hope you enjoyed it, and we're hoping that we see you soon in some communication or in the next webinar. Thank you and
thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.